While the market is fearful, whales are buying record amounts of Bitcoin right now. In fact, they've bought 83,000 Bitcoin in just a very short period. And all of this is happening while the average Joe is panicking, is selling their positions, and is getting back to boring old investments like stocks, gold, bonds. And they basically believe that the crypto bull market is over, but nothing is less true. This is all part of the bigger cycle. And this is why, to be honest, the majority of the people don't make money in the crypto market because they don't understand the bigger picture. The whales do, but the average Joe doesn't. And in this video, I'm going to discuss so much about what is currently going on behind the scenes, but also in front of the scenes, like everything that you need to know right now to make a well-informed decision about the market. And I'm also going to share a very big indicator, which in my opinion, shows that we are getting ready for a super cycle. It's not just an average cycle. I believe we're heading into a super cycle, the biggest crypto bull market in history. And I'm going to explain exactly why. And if you enjoy watching videos like this one, then make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be posting regularly throughout this crypto market cycle to make sure that you get an advantage in this market. So without any further ado, let's dive in. All right. Let me pull up my screen. So what I'm talking about is this right now. So Lark Davis is saying here on Twitter or X, while you are bored, whales and institutions are buying Bitcoin aggressively. So here, if we zoom in on this chart, you see this is a chart by 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗹𝗶. And this chart is showing here on the left side. You need to note that this chart is on a logarithmic scale. So what does logarithmic scale mean? It means that the y-axis is in increments of 10x. So we go from 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000. Or sorry, from 100 to 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000. So here you see that if we look at the purple line, we see that 80,000, 83,000 Bitcoin have been bought in a very short period of time. And I believe, I'm going to share what I believe. I believe the easiest way to spot profitable trends in the financial markets is to simply follow what the smart money is doing. And I'm talking about the large institutions, the whales, because oftentimes they have access to information that the average Joe doesn't have information to. And generally, when they're buying, it means that something big is about to happen. And these whales are loading up so aggressively right now. And do you know why? Because we are about to enter potentially a super cycle. And why do I believe this? Well, if you just simply look at the 4-year cycle, right now we are at exactly the same point where we've been a few years, sorry, in every 4 years previously as well. Because now, right before the crypto bull market starts, then that's when we see the biggest pain in the crypto market. And now people are really feeling the pain. They're losing faith. They're almost giving up. They're selling their positions. They're going back to whatever they were doing before the crypto hype started. And the fact that these whales are buying so aggressively means that something big is about to happen very soon. And why could this be a super cycle? Because up till now, the crypto market has been dominated primarily by retail investors, normal people that are investing their savings. But now, this crypto market cycle, we see the institutions that are entering the market. And when the institutions enter, they enter with hundreds of millions, billions, and even trillions. And this is something that we've never seen before. So I believe Q4 and Q1 that are upcoming are going to be explosive. And this is a great time to position yourself for what is about to come next. And just as a quick side note, nothing in here that I'm discussing in this video today is financial advice. I'm simply sharing my perspective on all of this, what is happening in the world right now. And you should always do your own research. But yeah, it's just for educational purposes. But I want to show you this as well. This tweet, BlackRock and Fidelity ETFs have bought 533,000 Bitcoin combined since January. So right now it's the 2nd of September. That means in 8 full months, these two asset managers alone purchased 533,000 Bitcoin. And we haven't even seen the big institutional FOMO happening in the market right now. Because yeah, what this tweet is also saying, that's without the 6 largest banks pitching the funds. Yeah, so what is happening right in front of our eyes is something that I call the great pivot, where banks are now changing from the biggest skeptics to embracing Bitcoin and offering it to their customers. Wells Fargo and Morgan Stanley are pitching, and the other 4 are coming very soon. So that means that we will probably see even more inflows into Bitcoin. I saw this meme on X and I wanted to share it with you because it has a very strong message. When we were kids, probably you used to play Monopoly. And although Monopoly is a very simple game, it has a powerful message. And there is an algorithm or a strategy to win the game of Monopoly. And it's very simple. Whenever you can buy an asset or whenever you can buy a piece of land or build a hotel, you should do it. Why? Because if someone lands on that piece of land, then you will earn an income. And this meme said, imagine playing a game of Monopoly and never buying any asset or investments that generate income. Imagine you just went around collecting 200. So every time you go past start, you collect 200 bucks. You give that money to the rich whenever you land on one of their pieces of land. And you pay to get out of jail. And that's it. You just keep in this loop forever and ever and ever. And that is how most people live their life. And why is this relevant to you? Well, Bitcoin is one of those assets that has the potential to be life-changing because it was the best asset class of the previous decade because it outperformed other asset classes like stocks, bonds, real estate by a factor of 10. So if you get the opportunity to buy some Bitcoin because you have some spare cash along the sidelines, or you get the opportunity to invest in some Bitcoin miners that pay you a cash flow in Bitcoin, then that can be something that can help you to win the game of life. I just wanted to put this in there because I believe it's a very strong message. Let me know in the comments below if you agree that life is comparable to a game of Monopoly. And if you want to win the game of life, you need to get yourself a portfolio of assets that either increase in value or pay you a nice cash flow. And I believe Bitcoin is very well suitable for this purpose. And talking about becoming financially free, someone that I always listen to is Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki is the author of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think one of the best books if you want to learn how to become financially free. And he is pointing out that right now the United States is adding around $1 trillion of debt every 100 days. So that is insane. Imagine $100 trillion. That is a 1 with 12 zeros behind it. That is such a large amount of money that most people will never be able to comprehend with their brain how much money all of that is. And the United States is adding all of that to its debt in every 100 days. So how is this sustainable? Well, they need to print money. And what happens when you print money? More money comes into circulation, which means that every single unit of money, no matter whether it's a euro, a dollar, a Japanese yen, becomes a little bit worth less. We call this inflation. Bankers are looting the world. You're not in the middle of a recession, you're in the middle of a robbery. So why is this person saying this or making this statement? Well, what's happening when more and more money is being printed? Well, that goes into circulation. Normally, liquidity flows into the financial markets. And when there's more money floating around the financial markets, it generally means that stocks go up, bonds go up, real estate goes up, crypto goes up. And who owns the assets in the financial markets? That is the rich, the bankers, the wealthy. So who benefits from more money floating around in the economy? That's the people holding the assets, the bankers, the wealthy. It's not the poor people. It's not the average Joe, because their life only gets worse and worse and worse because their purchasing power reduces. Here you see this chart. Over 2.6 billion people, so people living in Nigeria, Turkey, India, Pakistan, Brazil, Bangladesh, Russia, Mexico, have lost around 45% of their purchasing power on average over the past 45 years. So that's insane, guys. So imagine that now you have $100 in your bank account or some equivalent amount of money in the local currency of one of these countries, and you've worked really hard to make that amount of money. So you're saving it. But within a period of 4 years, you can buy 45% less products and services with that same unit of money than you could today. And that's terrible. And Lark Davis is pointing out that Bitcoin fixes this issue because rather than holding money in fiat currencies, which lose value over time, you could also hold an asset like Bitcoin, which tends to increase over time, tends to increase in value over time. And as a result, your purchasing power increases and you can buy more goods and services. Crypto Rover points out that September is generally the worst month for Bitcoin. So this is an average of the Bitcoin returns over the long term, I would say the past 15 years. And on average, September was the worst month for Bitcoin. Whether we're going to see another really red, bloody September, we don't know. But it's important to see that after this September month, we see a very green Q4. Q4 generally tends to be one of the best months for crypto. So don't get shaken out. Don't sell your Bitcoin and crypto to BlackRock and the large institutions, the whales that are buying up these record amounts of Bitcoin right now. Be smart, keep a long-term perspective, and hodl. Because later down the line, you will be able to sell your Bitcoin for a lot more. History is repeating. So within the crypto cycle, we see a few different periods. We see the hype phase where crypto goes to the moon, and that's when everyone starts to talk about crypto, your mom, your aunt, your neighbor. Then we see the period of delusionment where, yeah, we see a correction. We're going back to a bottom. And then we see a period of accumulation where people are slowly getting more confidence back in Bitcoin, and they're starting to accumulate, fill up their bags, and getting ready for the next cycle. And then we see the hype phase again. So this period or these phases have happened time and time again in the cycle from 2012 to 2016, in the cycle from 2016 to 2020, in the cycle from 2020 to 2024. And right now we are about to enter the explosive stage of the hype phase. And whether you're going to profit from this or not, all depends on your actions in these coming days. Are you going to sell your Bitcoin because you're scared, you believe the bull market is over, you've missed the top? Or are you going to accumulate more, hold on to your Bitcoin, and wait for it to increase in value again? Generally, again, I would like to say and repeat this, Q4 tends to be the best time for crypto. So I also think that this illustration is very powerful. It says change happens slower than we wish, but faster than we realize. Maybe on the short term, right now, we see that the market might be a little bit red, might be a little bit fearful. People are a little bit sour. They don't have a lot of confidence because the market has been going sideways. Maybe it has been dumping for a bit. But if you zoom out and you have the long-term perspective, and if you're patient and you've studied this asset class, then you will be rewarded in just a very short period. Usually Q4, Q1 are explosive times within a crypto bull market cycle. In just a few months' time, Bitcoin could 2x, 3x, 4x, who knows? We are seeing a lot of institutional money that's flowing into the market right now, and who knows where the price of Bitcoin will go. I personally believe somewhere between 150K to 200K is fairly reasonable. Some people say it can go way higher. I've heard predictions ranging all the way to 500K or even $1 million per Bitcoin this cycle. Others are more conservative. They believe it's going to go to 80 to 100K. We don't know. We don't have a glass ball. But one thing is certain, and I want to emphasize this, and that is the limited supply of Bitcoin. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. And this brings me to the next thing that I want to show you. There's 7.9 billion people on this earth, and there are 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be in circulation. You cannot create more than 21 million Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is truly scarce. And if you understand that there will be way more demand than there is supply, then usually it means that the price of something tends to go up. And we're still early. You might think right now that you've already missed the boat. but Bitcoin is 15 years old. We're still early. If you compare this to the adoption of the internet, like within the first 15 years of the internet, the adoption of Bitcoin is way further. We are growing faster than the internet has grown. And look where the internet is right now. We are still early, but you need to understand the asset class. You need to study it. You need to watch videos like this one. You need to surround yourself with a community of people that are also talking about investing, that truly understand what they're doing. All right. Have really good discussions with them about all of the stuff that's happening in the world. That will set you way ahead of the average Joe that doesn't understand what they're doing, that is just gambling its hard-earned money in the market. 𝗶𝗵𝘃 is saying, this of course not the real 𝗶𝗵𝘃, but there's a Twitter account which has the same profile pic of 𝗶𝗵𝘃. He's saying $4.9 trillion. So that's the size of assets under management that Fidelity has. Fidelity is saying that one Bitcoin may be worth $1 billion in 2038. So again, if you look at these price predictions, and these are large asset, this is a massive asset manager. They have such a large team of researchers and analysts. They have such a big reputation. Do you think that they would make this price prediction if they didn't believe that this could happen? Like, this is such a big, bold price prediction. Right now, Bitcoin is hovering around 60,000. If you believe that one Bitcoin could go to $1 billion, then it's an absolute no-brainer. Maybe that's overly optimistic. Maybe Bitcoin is going to be worth way less, but still, there's probably a lot of room for growth for Bitcoin. Here, this chart that Quinten is sharing, which is the Bitcoin Relative Strength Index, also known as the RSI, is showing the same 4-year cycle for Bitcoin. And if you look at what's happening every cycle, we see the dark red dots right before the market starts to pump. There's a little correction down, and then it shoots up. And like clockwork, it's happening again and again and again. So I hope you're ready. I hope you understand the cyclical nature of Bitcoin in the crypto market. Now might be the last time to load up on cheap Bitcoin, on cheap Bitcoin miners, on cheap crypto projects, because when the rocket ship is going to depart, it's not going to stop down. So finally, I want to show you this chart as well. And there's one more that I want to share with you. Crypto Rover is saying Bitcoin will go so much higher. The more money gets printed, the higher we go. So it's showing a chart of the global M2, which is the global money supply. And that's basically all of the money that's in circulation. And the orange line is the price of Bitcoin. Sorry, it's the other way around. The orange line is the price of the money supply, and the blue line is the price of Bitcoin. You see, there is a correlation. Whenever the money supply goes up, that's usually when the price of Bitcoin also starts to go up. And it seems like more and more money is going to be printed very soon. And this tends to correlate with the trend that Bitcoin also goes up. So that's a nice correlation that I like to monitor. Finally, I want to say, if you have survived so far, if you're still holding Bitcoin, if you're still confident, if you're still hodling, and if you're still buying Bitcoin, you're a survivor. Really, you are a survivor. We've experienced so much this year. We saw that the spot ETFs went live in January. Genesis sold $1.6 billion worth of Bitcoin. Germany sold its Bitcoin bags, $40,000 Bitcoin that were sold. We experienced a halving, so the miner rewards got halved. Michael Dell, one of the largest billionaires in the world, and he owns like $100 billion worth of assets, or has a net worth of $100 billion plus. He started to tweet about Bitcoin. Bitcoin bill and bullish Trump speech. Yeah, Trump, which was talking at Bitcoin 2024, an industry event. He announced that he wanted to adopt Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset. Recently, he came out saying that he wanted America to be the future of crypto. Mt. Gox started to pay out its creditors. Interest from retail is currently at 30% of the bull market in 2021. If you look at the Google search, so right now it's very low. The 18th of September, the Fed will lower the rates. Usually when the interest rates get lowered, it means that more money will flow into the markets, which tends to drive up assets like Bitcoin. And FTX is going to pay out $16 billion worth of cash, which will probably also partly flow into the crypto market, driving prices up higher. So that being said, yes, right now is a fearful time in the market, but just for the average Joe that doesn't understand what is going on, that's only in the market for a quick buck. Behind the scenes, the whales are buying up record amounts of Bitcoin right now, and they are preparing for a crypto super cycle, something that we've never seen before in the history of Bitcoin and the history of crypto, and maybe in the history of the entire financial markets. And right now, whatever decision you're making, whether you're going to exit the market, hodl, or accumulate more, that's going to determine your profit in the next few years and months. A few smart decisions right now can set yourself light years ahead. And if you want to stay informed about the crypto market, and if you want to see more valuable videos like this one, where I help you to get an edge and make sense of everything that's going on, then make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment below if you enjoyed watching. And I'm curious to hear what were your biggest insights from this video. All right. Thank you. Peace out. See you in the next one.